Level up with Dr. Leyland. Step into the future, the world is waiting now. Dreams are in the making, we'll show you how. From the books to the screen, from the stage to the stars. Level up your game, let's raise the bar. Innovation, inspiration, it's in our DNA. Breaking through the limits, we're paving the way. Level up, reach the sky, take the lead, don't be shy. Your story's worth it, your light will shine. At Level Up Academy, it's your time. Oh, it's your time. At Level Up Academy, we rise and climb. Empowered in your passion, your voice will be heard. Building a legacy with every word. From podcasts to pages, from business to art. Level Up's the place where it all can start. With heart and with vision, we're chasing every goal. Together we'll ignite the fire in your soul. Level up, reach the sky, take the lead, don't be shy. Your story's worth it, your light will shine. At Level Up Academy, it's your time. Oh, it's your time. At Level Up Academy, we rise and climb. Ooh, ooh, ooh. Oh, we're trailblazing, breaking through the mold. Dreams are alive, let your story unfold. With courage and pride, we'll take the fight. At Level Up, we own the night. Level up, reach the sky, take the lead, don't be shy. Your story's worth it, your light will shine. At Level Up Academy, it's your time. Oh, it's your time. At Level Up Academy, we rise and climb. So let's level up and never look back. On the road to greatness, we're on the right track. Together we'll soar, together we'll thrive. At Level Up Academy, we're alive.
Hello, everybody. Welcome to Level Up Academy podcast. Today, we're going to talk about biodiverse healthcare ecosystems in tech with none other than Babita Evans. Once I introduce you to her and what she does, you guys are going to be super amazed of what she does in this community that we call the Earth, right? We are all humans. But first thing is first, I'm going to go ahead and go through my sister Danielle's daughter. We still need your help, guys. We are right now. She was already out, and then she ended up back in the hospital again. At least it's only 6, right? And we are definitely pleading for your kindness and generosity. I did start a GoFundMe because she came in with fever, low blood pressure, and then when she came to the hospital, after 2 days, I believe, of testing, they said that she had Kawasaki disease, a rare form of it. She became immunocompromised in between, emergency room and pediatric. She had a heart aneurysm, and it affected her ability to walk. And she didn't find out until after the fact, obviously, when they did another echocardio. And so she comes out of the hospital. She's told not only her, but her entire family to literally go back during COVID, where we all are masks, gloves, right? And even if you're outside, and she's from Sacramento, it's quite hot in Sacramento, but if she goes out, she has to make sure she masks up, right? She's 6. When my sister called me, I call her my sister, my friend, my best friend, my bestie. She basically called me saying, "Hey, we're at the emergency room again, and I can hear Elise crying. I don't want to be poked." And she's been poked and prodded, and more than importantly, not just emotional toll, but the mounting bills that just keeps coming, right? And so I will be asking you guys really to share her story, and that would be more than enough. And also, please keep praying for the family. Thank you guys so much for doing that. We also have a 50 inspirational connections. This will end, the opportunity ends on August 2nd. There are no extensions. What it is if you have an inspirational story that you're giving out something back to your community, but you don't have the money, right, to be on magazines, to be, everything costs money, guys. Branding, marketing, you breathe wrong, it costs money. I've done this for the last 3 years. And so the top five will have cash prizes, but 50 inspirational connections will have group camaraderie. You'll have your certificate, you'll have a badge that you can actually use anywhere from Level Up, because your voice matters. And sometimes even those really smart people, we all need help, right? We're good at what we do, but we're not good at marketing ourselves, right? So that's where I come in. You'll get featured on podcasts, magazines, and live stream absolutely free. I do this for community service for the global community, right? And we're only looking for 50 heart centered leaders changing the game in social media. And this is literally impact and legacy, and there's no fee. You just, all you have to do is follow instructions. That's it. Okay. And it ends on August 2nd. This is the QR code. Please help yourself. And you're probably wondering, what is it? It's a global visibility campaign that I've designed to spotlight heart center or soul hearted leaders, creatives, founders, and change makers who are building community, creating an impact globally, and of course, showing up with authenticity on social media. I launched this back in 2023. It's been moving along, it's been growing as well. But these are for individuals who's not just growing their business, but growing others through their voice, their values, and their vision. So hopefully, I will see you guys on 50 inspirational connections. I'm also going to go back for influencing you. This is a social media platform. If you are one of those people who really like to go and learn about social media, it is a membership platform, and I'm there Fridays at 10 a.m. PST. And then this one is Bella Grace. So if you want to stay youthful, if you're age 40 and above, you want to stay young, looking beautiful from inside, not just out. This Alexa right here that you see on the left hand side is so amazing. If you want to have full lips, but no injections, no fillers, this lip gloss has collagen pumping throughout the day, which I love. And then the other two are collagen mist and also serum. They're both made in Korea, because you already know Korean skincare right now. Korea skincare right now is really amazing for everybody. So that's all I have for you. And also, I want to dedicate this song. I created another song yesterday. This is for people who have depression, anxiety like myself. I created this song yesterday, and give me feedback, guys. I wrote the lyrics as well. All right, here it goes. This is dedicated for anybody who's feeling sad, not heard, and life can still be beautiful even if you're in your sad days.
Behind the smile, put on my face like I do every day. Brush off the shadows and paint them in gray. Laughter rehearsed like a well-written script. No one suspects when you never slip. I show up on time, I shine in the light, but nobody asks what I battle at night. Success is a veil, and I wear it with pride. Even when darkness is screaming inside, you never guess it, I'm breaking style, wearing my sorrow behind a smile, hiding in crowds, I'm the life of the room. The silence be fooled by the mask that I wear. Just 'cause I'm standing don't mean I don't care. I text back with jokes, keep the feed full of cheer, but that doesn't mean I don't drown in fear. I'm tired of hiding, exhausted by grace, wishing someone could read past my face. They say you're so strong, you always pull through, but strength isn't armor, it's just what I do. It's dancing on glass, it's bleeding unseen, it's whispering help in a world so routine. And sometimes I wish there was room to fall without me to explain it all, to be held without fixing, to cry without shame, to just say I'm not okay without playing a game. You never guess it, I'm breaking in style, wearing the sorrow behind a smile, hiding in crowds of the life of the room, where silence can echo much louder than doom. So don't be fooled by the mask that I wear. So next time you see someone lighting the dark, don't miss the flicker, that quiet spark. Ask twice, listen deep, be still for a while. Some storms wear heels, and some pain wears a smile.
Ha! What do you think? You don't cry, because I'm gonna cry. Don't do it. Don't do it. Anyway, we're gonna talk about positive things today, guys, because we're talking about inspiration. Hello. Anyway, let me introduce to you my amazing sister from the UK, all the way from there. Hello. Like, this is amazing, isn't it? So let me introduce Babita. Today on my show, we're diving deep into the future of leadership, tech, and transformation with a woman who doesn't just follow trends. She builds the system that sets them. Babita is a powerhouse in digital transformation, AI, and product strategy. Named one of the UK's top digital transformation leaders 3 years running, and as a vice president of AI and product engineering strategy at Vital Signs Ecosystems, she's redefining what it means to lead with conviction in a tech driven world, right? Study after study, even Harvard Business Review, HBR, literally will tell you that in tech, women is still not par in terms of men in the how many women in tech, but she is doing that. She's not here to impress you. She's here to challenge you. So if you're ready to disrupt old mindsets and design a legacy that outlives the hype, keep listening. Okay. This is one episode that I guarantee you'll want to repeat, repeat, and repeat. She has 7 books, and we're going to talk about Trust Code is her first book. We're going to talk about that. It explores foundational principles of trust in digital transformation. Her second book was Trice with Digital, delves into practical, I think that might be her second book, Digital Embracing Tech and Industry 5.0. And then Mind the Digital Gap, addresses common challenges and acceleration in digital adoption. And then Emotional Dynamics, which examines the psychological impact of our digital change on individuals. And then book number 5 was Human Factors in the Digital Era. This is focusing on human behavior and operating dynamics within tech transformations. Book number 6 is Human Centric Architecture. I really love that, right? It builds on how to design systems with people at the center, referencing key frameworks. It's so important because as AI evolves and as AI take over most of the jobs that are repetition or repetitive, humans should be the center of everything. And last but not least, because I know this is not going to be her last book, it might be for now, but Ego to Essence introduces her ego to essence leadership and model aim to sustain at sustainable surface-based legacy building. So that is her 7 books. Isn't that amazing? And she said she'll be working on, right now her books is physical, where if you're in the UK area, let her know. She's on LinkedIn, and I'll share her LinkedIn profile in a minute. But if you are also hiring, she does consultancy. So if you're building anything that touches AI, digital transformation, or operational excellence, stop scrolling, guys. Stop looking on Indeed. Babita is your woman, right? She's a multi-award global transformation leader who doesn't just talk innovation; she literally architects it, right? And now she talks about healthcare to nuclear energy. um, she has designed people first systems that scale with integrity and results. So if you're building something that's future ready organization and you're looking for someone to help you kind of materialize that, or maybe a bouncing ear, right? Maybe you already have all your team, but you're like, I'm just missing that someone that can really help me, put to the next level. Don't scroll. Just ask me if you can't find Babita, but you will. In a minute, you will. Okay. So she is gonna be here. I can't wait. So let me put her up. Are you guys ready? Look at that beautiful lady. Oh, happy Wednesday, everybody. So here comes Babita. Are you guys ready? Babita, give me a thumbs up if you are. How are you, Babita?
I'm doing great, Dr. CJ, and it's an honor and a privilege to be here with you on this show. Thank you so much.
Of course. Thank you so much for being here. Now, because this is your first time, I usually ask this first question is think back 20 years ago and find within your timeline some of the significant changes in your life that got you here where you are today. Obviously, you're open to go beyond 20 years, but I would say 20 years and on.
Dr. CJ, thank you so much for that question. The first incident I remember was when I was just about 10 years old and I lost my aunt. She was a OBGYN. She had a hole in her heart, but she would go, and I grew up in India. I was born in India, South Indian. I'm born a South Indian lady. And my aunt like was in a mobile hospital helping these women to deliver babies in rural India where they don't have hospitals. And after a really long day, couple of long days, she had an issue with her heart, and the defibrillator in the mobile hospital didn't work on time. And they couldn't get her to the city hospital in time. And whilst she had been delivering so many children, birthing all these wonderful babies into the world, she herself passed. And I think that definitely left a massive, massive impact on my heart, mind, and soul. And in fact, all my books, like I have got her acknowledged because I think she's definitely one of my major inspirations. But that's the first instance. And the second significant change that really made a big difference to who I am and what I am is I was a single parent nearly about 19 years ago, and I had a near-death experience. And I'm here. I was given very little time, but I'm here. I'm healthy. I'm active. I've got all the energy. Thank the Almighty. And I'm contributing and adding value where technology meets human-centric solutions. So these are the two significant changes in my life.
I love that. I saw you intensely reading the lyrics of the new music that I just dropped. I create music. That's my other creative side. I don't sing on it, obviously, but I use AI to help me do the music itself. But I write my lyrics based on how I'm feeling at the moment or what I'm doing. And I start to draw as well. And that's been therapeutic, but like I hate my drawings. I'm like, oh, I know why some artists now like really do that. And my mom's like, "You're an artist." I'm like, "No, I'm not. I can't even draw a circle, mom. I tried eyeballs. It's just not perfect." And my mom's like, "It's not perfection. Art's never perfection. It's just, whatever." I'm like, "Yeah, okay. I'm not gonna share that with you anymore because you make me out to be like an artist, and I'm not. My husband and my daughters are excellent artists, especially my youngest Ella. She can draw like nobody's business. And she's my teacher now, right? Like she's my
Wow.
teacher now. I learned from her. But she's amazing, and I know you have an amazing child as well. Now, I want to actually kind of deep dive into where you started your career and then where the shift begins to where you're at today.
Fantastic. Um, I'm an electronics instrumentation engineer by background. I worked with organizations like the Tata Engineering Services, worked on telecommunication, Samsung, worked with life sciences organizations, um, financial institutes. I've spent 10 years at Hewlett Packard, and that was a great learning experience. Hewlett Packard at that time, when I was with them, was one of the top 10 brands. I joined them when they were 30,000 employees, and they grew on to become 300,000 employees. And all the while I was with Hewlett Packard, it was the top 10 brand. And working for an organization that is at that level, they are investing in you, you are learning, you're contributing, you're seeing the whole end to end value chain coming alive, creating value. That was simply amazing. um, right now, in the last 7 8 years, I have been working in highly regulated critical national infrastructure enterprises. So, I'm talking about the likes of EDF, the likes of Sizewell C nuclear plant, but also large life science organizations like GSK, Roche, and a number of others as well. I've also worked with Merck, and in fact, I'm very proud of my time with Merck. Lots of great employee engagement and influencing experience. And in terms of my career, I can say that I've had the opportunity to work in an organization where we have 50 people all the way to 500,000, and work in organizations which touch many different cultures. For example, DHL. I had the opportunity to work with the board at DHL. They're all ex McKinsey, and when you work with leaders of that caliber, you learn a lot. Um, and you also bring a lot of value to the teams. And I think that's what I do. And I believe that at where I'm at my life right now, I'm a translator. It's about convergence of technology, people, processes. I know people don't want to talk about politics. Every mother wants their son to become the president without being political. But the fact is, if we raise the awareness on politics, we'll be doing the next generation a great favor. Because it's very important to understand what politics is, and especially given the AI era, it's very important to understand the convergence of technology, people, politics, and leadership, which is human centered. And this is why I'm like really totally honored to be on this show with you, Dr. CJ, because this is all about heart centered leaders, and it resonates a lot with me. So that's, in short, that's my journey, and where I'm at right now. And with Vital Signs, it's a startup, and we are trying to create systems that are integrated and that can actually make a real difference to human beings, not vanity metrics, but real impact.
I love that. So I like what you said too. Like all mothers want their kids to be president without politics. And I think the word politics used to mean a lot, maybe in the 70s and 80s, maybe even a little bit in the 90s, but now it's a dirty, dirty word, right? And I think these leaders who are in politics, I think they started with a really good intention to change the world, at least within their community, the world of their community. And the peer pressure of the whole oligarchs, right? Um, gets to people where you get numbed and you forgot why you're there. Just like you have corrupt everything, corrupt government, corrupt, Philippines, that's where I'm from. Government was corrupt for a long time. It's because people get numbed, right? And so you're right, raising awareness to the future leaders of our world, because we all live in it and we're trying to destroy it with each other right now. It's really heartbreaking, right? But my next question is, you've led transformation across industries from life sciences to energy and finance. What universal principles do you believe make change sustainable?
That's a great question, Dr. CJ. I'm going to use an analogy here. Now, if you had to build a brand new house from scratch, you'd obviously go to an architect. You'd go, you know exactly what steps there are. You got to do the foundations. You know exactly how long it's going to take. You got to set up the structure, get a plumber, get the waterworks, the interiors, and all that. That comes right at the end. When it comes to setting up technology infrastructure, we've exactly the same challenges. We have to create the data framework. We've got to create the infrastructure. What is going to be on prem, what's going to be on cloud. It is about getting the infrastructure as service, platform as service, and software as service, all these layers mapped appropriately. But the biggest challenge is that technology is almost like a black box. It's not a very regulated industry as such. Technology is an enabler, yet it's not regulated. For me, just like you build a house, and if you use the right principles, you can accelerate getting the house built on time. Similarly, if you have the right people, the right capabilities, I call it the suitably qualified, experienced professionals, people who've been there, done that. You wouldn't sit on an airplane with someone who's just taken 2 lessons to ride a plane, would you? Why would you trust anybody in the technology to do that? So I think what I'm trying to get to is that when we're looking at the universal principles that makes sustainable and successful technology adoption possible, is getting skilled and experienced professionals and getting the architecture, the enterprise architecture, and understanding what pain points and business needs we are trying to solve. It doesn't change. Technology is only an enabler. The business needs and the end customer needs, the pain points, that's what we need to address. And if we get that right, it's going to work. But if you don't get that right, it's not going to work. And this is what I'm seeing right now. 70 to 80% of digital transformations right now are failing.
Yeah, and I think you and I were talking about that because I have friends who are in tech, deep tech, even federal government. 160 million dollars and there's no support. Here's the thing: AI is so fast and quick. Yes, it's wonderful until you actually apply it. When you're in cybersecurity and you're trying to keep up with the actors, the bad ones, right? Trying to really get into your system, you have the ability to code now using AI actually to do things. The problem is the organization that you're trying to help, who paid you $160 million, does not have the support team and capability to support it and sustain it, nor does your company, other than the coders. That is where the problem is, right? It's trust by design framework. Well, let's see, how do we trust these people? Well, they've been in business for a while, like you said, right? But then you got to look at it as user adoption strategy and digital literacy. We were talking about that. You need to educate your engineers. You need to educate your support team. You need to educate your managers, the lingo, right? The ability for layman's, a fifth grader should be able to understand certain things because business people don't think like IT people, right? People first design for tech development is not no more a luxury, it is a necessity, because AI is so fast, no one understands what's happening in your organization anymore. But if you have a tech deployment of changes, but it's people first design, meaning slow the heck down, we're not AI, emotional dynamics and digital burnout solutions will be preventable and sustainable. What are your thoughts on that?
Okay, at this point, I'd just like to use an analogy. I'm going to ask you a question. Let's talk
Sure.
about the seven sins and how it plays out with AI. You know, AI has just made the seven sins monthly billing subscription models. For example, lust. Let's talk about lust. Ashley Madison, fans for you. Let's talk about gluttony. Uber Eats. You just have to sit there. Let's talk about sloth. Doom scrolling, Netflix. AI is there. It can amplify the sins into monthly subscription models, but it can also amplify the virtues into sustainable subscription models, which actually makes a difference to people and adds value to their life. And so, this is the question for you. Do you see the sins playing out, the AI sins? Do you relate to it, Dr. CJ?
Yeah, it's funny that you say that because I think all of it is there, right? Pride, excessive belief in its own one abilities. So many people on TikTok that I actually was watching people who are going viral, and to me, okay, just to me personally, they didn't have any value to give to the world other than I got this done and this done, or I'm this. Like I saw another person, I forgot her name, and she literally neglects her children. She talks about eating beans and Doritos, and she get 1 million followers just being there. What value is she given? Nothing. If you're a mother, most mother goes, "Oh, I can just do this because we need to be viral." That is not, but that's the pride of just being negative to become more viral. We have succumbed to our world where pride is not the positive, it's the negative. It's so crazy. I'm so confused at this point, really, in the world. Greed, I mean, you see it all the time. Even, oh, there's a back to politics, we have this tax whatever, and now everybody is upping their everything, and so the manufacturer in China says, hey, your Hermes that cost you $30,000, it's literally 1400, we make it, right? So you see the greed of people. They want more and more and more instead of just give people and others a way to live. Like literally basic needs, right? From Haslow's hierarchy. And you see lust, you said, craving for physical pleasures. Yeah, people just doom scroll now on Facebook dating app, on Instagram, on I got actually invited on some weird stuff. I'm like, no, I'm not, no, right? It's just that lust is there, and also lust for, like you said, vanity matrix, right? Envy. People resent others for having status or possession. I got attacked last year for 50 inspirational connections, and I know it was envy, but
Wow.
guys, you can do it on your own as well, right? I mean, they're like, oh, we're gonna report you to LinkedIn because it's a copyright issue because you're seeing 50 inspirational connections on LinkedIn. I'm like, why am I gaining? I'm not even getting money. In fact, you guys owe me hundreds of thousands of dollars. I'm doing community service, right? But people envy because of social media as well and technology, gluttony, yes, overindulgence, food consumption. The next time you go out to the restaurant, especially on buffet, you see how many people throw their food. They put so much on their plate and then they can only eat a quarter. Because why? We're in this society that abundance is good. Everything is good when it's in abundance. That's definitely gluttony. And wrath, extreme anger, hatred, or revenge. People are always like, what do I do next to do this to Dr. Lehman or CJ? What do I do next? Why? Right? And sloth, like you said, failure to act or care. We're on Netflix. I am on Netflix, Amazon, all of these things that we do. So 7 cents, I agree with that one for sure. And Leah, I feel like we have lost our ability to have good, healthy conversations and debate. We don't have to agree on everything to respect one another and truly listen. I totally 1000% agree with that statement. Um, and I think it's really hard now that I feel like our lives are out in public, but whatever that you share, you curate who you are and how people look at you based on what you curate, right? So yeah, it's kind of interesting um how that works. Now let me ask you this second question. You've been voted top digital transformation leader multiple years in a row. What differentiates your approach from others in this space? Not just being a woman, but overall.
That's a really good question, but I just want to close the loop in on the previous question about the AI sins. What I want to focus on is, where does the AI sin start? It starts with self. As leaders need to really reflect and understand where these AI sins come from. And it goes on from self to teams to organizations. And this is where leaders need to catch when organizations are going into sloth mode of automating mindless routine workflow processes. They are trying to be very proud to create vanity metrics around AI to say that, yes, we've got the next shiny rollout, because that's not actually going to help anyone. And for me, this is where, in terms of what differentiates my approach from others in space, it's about making real impact. It's about delivering a successful value in a space where 80% of the transformations are failing. So I think my approach is about being successful, being in a place where you can actually say that this is the value which has been delivered. This is the return on investment for your tech stack. This is the total cost of ownership. Right now, no single organization actually has the capability to actually develop its own technology solution, apart from, we are not talking about the hyperscalers. Most of the large enterprise organizations depend on technology providers for a service. And we need to have an element of ethical, trusted code practices to make it happen. And sometimes it takes an experienced eye to actually spot the elements that are totally missing. You can't stand a massive building without the right foundations, without having a pillar, without having the right pillars. And I think that is what I bring to the table. It's about having the right catalysts that can accelerate the change and make sure that the change sticks for good.
I love that. It becomes a habit. I love the that you brought up the seven sins because then my curiosity just kind of literally gone whoop on that one when it comes to tech, right? Like, first of all, when I see a problem, I want to see solutions because when we dwell on problems, we're never going to get anywhere. We're just going in a circle, right? So for the seven sins, it's killing not only innovation and trust, really. And I don't mean innovation as in like AI innovation because it's always going to be evolving. It's more of like human critical thinking skills and emotional intelligence. So instead of being arrogant, like, oh, I have this AI and I'm a big organization, switch it to curiosity. I think that's how we can redeem ourselves. Admit that, hey, I don't know this. I'm going to stay coachable. And this is great for tech leaders to ask better questions, not give faster answers. Think about it first on how you can actually integrate all the things that are coming out of your mouth as a leader on human centric, right? From over automation, which right now everything is just automation, automate, automate. And I'm loving it. At the same time, I'm hating it because I think the more that we automate is good for streamlining the process. But we need to actually to redeem that is to human amplify, meaning use tech to elevate human potential, not erase it, right? Automate the mundane things that you do every day, but never replace the meaning of what you do every day. We also talk about tokenism, right? So instead of that, give authentic empowerment, right? How do you redeem that? Well, invite diverse people who have voices that are diverse in your table, like Babita. Okay, give them seats and the mic and literally listen. and the act on what you hear. Like what you're hearing could be a solution to your problem all this time, but you're so busy automating, you're not actually hearing, you're just listening. And instead of like, I need to get all of these things to get that next to do list, do a strategic stillness. Be like, be still, people. Just pause, reflect, prioritize your deep work over dopamine because we all are dopamine heavy. Productivity isn't hustle. Yeah, let's just do that. Do impact and intention. Whatever you're trying to do, think of impact. How does this impact my company? How does this impact with me? And hopefully you have good intentions. Okay. Because intentions could be bad or good. And from visibility without action to execution with integrity. And I love that you talk about integrity all the time because aligning your dreams with deliverables is not easy, but bold vision really means nothing if you're not shipping outcomes. It's just a talk at that point. From fear of disruption to leading the wave. And Babita, you are so good at leading that wave. Embracing change early, use pilot cases, learn from big organizations like Coca-Cola, who, ask 7 people, literally, okay, I'm being facetious about the numbers, but literally ask a small group of people, introduce a new flavored of drinks and said, how do you like it? And then 3 out of 8 saying it's not really good, but because it was more people that say yes, so they literally did their pilot study that way and spent millions on reproducing and manufacturing this taste that's supposed to be good. But guess what? Your solutions to this specific community, okay, let's say in the Philippines, one of the island is good, but the rest of the world don't care for your product or services or for your new taste. That's why pilot program is good in multiple places. So if you are in IT, don't be rolling out solutions and spend millions of dollars and exhaust your people without doing a really proper thinking of pilot programs. Make experimentation your leadership style and silencing the dissent to creating space for truth. And sometimes when we tell the truth, it hurts, right? Especially if you're a leader and you're being told by your people, oh, CJ, this doesn't work with the solution because of this. Take the ego out of that. And I love that. So we're gonna talk about your book, right? This is leading to this question. Let's talk about leadership, Babita. What's your ego to essence model all about? And how does it transform the way we build teams and culture, especially in the tech industry or healthcare?
Well, ego to essence is exactly what it says on the can. How can we move the ecosystems to making impact? So, here, instead of talking about just politics, I introduce a new term called ecosystems because we all have to deal with ecosystems. Each one of us has ego as well. And I go one step further in actually saying that ego is not the culprit, it's id. Id wants instant gratification. Ego is actually awareness. It's about, hey, if I don't do the right thing all the time, I'm going to see some consequences. That's ego. Super ego is being very ethical, showing compassion, showing empathy. So, in ego to essence, firstly, I draw the different elements of ego. I say you have the 3 parts of ego, which is id, ego, and superego. And I also explain the different behaviors that you can observe when someone is in an id mode, when someone is in an ego mode, or someone is in a super ego mode. And fundamentally, with ego to essence, what I've done is said, look at all the leadership theories that we have around us. Look at all the psychologists who have written and contributed to this book of leadership in the world. I researched the last 150 to 200 years of leadership theories. A lot of it that we use in organizations comes from psychologists. 98% of them are men from the US. I'm not an American. I've got a lot of respect for America. I'm someone who was born in the East, but I have lived and worked in the West and all over the world. I worked for global brands. I worked with different cultures. I've seen what makes people tick. I've seen high performance teams deliver magic. When a group of people come together and they really lean on each other, a group of ordinary people can deliver extraordinary results. In fact, a group of super intelligent people coming together but who are not aligned will forever stay in firefighting mode. And this is one of the lessons that I've learned in the last 20 plus years of working on developing the magic of high performance teams. Every person counts. And this is what Ego to Essence is about. And when I was at Hewlett Packard, I had the privilege of being one of the instructional designers as well as facilitators for more than 7,000 executives who went from middle management to top management training. And during that 10 years, what I did was I used to keep a journal. The questions that I couldn't answer, I've answered it in Ego to Essence. It's not theory, it's actually it's leadership in action. It's a compilation of all the things that have worked and that truly work. Because when you come from a space of essence, not ego, it works. And it's very important right now to realize that AI is not our enemy. It's the humans who are using AI to do what they want to achieve. It's about leaders asking the right questions. As you rightly said, are we actually creating a solution to take out humanity? What are the guardrails? If we look around, when you look around, you're hearing hyperscalers making thousands of people redundant. What are the guardrails? Do we have universal standards? Do we have universal credits for people who are going to be put out of work? For me, I believe that continuous learning is the heartbeat. It's the way to be. And we are living in a world where a lot of leaders are still digitally illiterate. And they are making decisions for the future. And it's a big risk. And this is where we need translators who really understand what technology can do and how we can really make a positive impact with human in the loop. AI has to be bias free, it has to respect humans. The governance has to be transparent, and it should be fundamentally sustainable for humanity. If not, we will absolutely fail the next generation.
That's scary, actually, because we're already there. The next generation is already watching us. And I want to look back before we end about biodiverse systems, because when I see that, I refer to it as like an ecosystem that's natural or human built, that are rich in variety of species or genes or culture or behaviors and functions. But in biology, it literally also means different organisms coexisting in balance, right? So in business, it means something even more interesting, because to me, you have to be adaptive, you have to be resilient, and you have to have multi-input ecosystem where innovation thrives because diversity of thoughts, backgrounds, and structure is baked in, not as an add-on, right? Monoculture that we have is very fragile, right? It's one way of thinking, one dominant tech stack. Don't fix it because it's not broken, even if it's 1800s already. That's disaster waiting to happen. For me, I love biodiversity because it's built on resilience. It provides different perspectives, tools, cultures, teams. Then from there, you build agility, innovation, and long-term survival. So I love that. We talked about innovation, but the most successful teams that I've seen, especially in education. I did education finance as well, but mostly in education is ecological or organization are the most diverse, because people, okay, makes the decision when you get hired or fired. People. I hope not machines later, because then we become a check mark. Okay. But a biodiverse system isn't just about representation. It's about hiding infrastructure, or I'm sorry, building infrastructure that thrives under pressure, because we are under pressure right now. We have wars going on, there's changes going on, AI is going on, just too many AI. Holy moly, there's just too many, right? Adapts under the change and regenerates value over time. It's not an overnight thing. But if your business is monoculture, believes in one thing and that's it, guys, you're already outdated. It's time to rewire that system and rebuild the system. And I like that you said that you're a translator, because you've seen it, you've done AI development, you've already been a leader, you're educated in it, you've done your research. Now you're into healthcare, right? So can you tell me a little bit about what you're doing today to help our community?
Sure. 3 years ago, I went to MIT, and they talked about the healthcare ecosystem, and they said, "Here we go. We've got the 5 Ps: the payers, the providers, the policymakers, the producers, and the patients." And I was like, "Hey, actually, that's incomplete. What about the tech solution providers that give you 20 different layers of technology? What about the clinical research organization? 70% of the money in life sciences is invested in clinical research organizations. We don't include them. And what about the customer advocacy groups that actually talk about the pain points of customers and individuals who are really suffering? And when you look at the healthcare system per se, it's extreme, especially in the Western world, it's really good at identifying an ailment, offering you a diagnosis and treatment. And once you recover from that incident, you are sent back. But real wellness is about the wellness and illness curve. It's about engagement, it's about healthy lifestyle habits, it's about peak performance, it's about living life to the fullest. And the current system does not take that into account. And I just refer back to my own experience as a 10-year-old, where I saw my aunt lose her life. Vital signs ecosystem is about identifying the vital signs, especially for individuals who are suffering with chronic illnesses, with underlying conditions, making sure that we have the right guardrails in place to identify predictive and preventative healthcare. Did you know that just by doing an OCT test at an ophthalmologist, you can detect when an individual is going to suffer from diabetes, different types of cancers, systemic illnesses, 6 to 8 months in advance? The awareness of these technologies is really low. And this is where Vital Signs can help. We also have a feature on it. What is Vital Signs? It's a platform, one designed for the complementary alternative medicine providers, and the other app is built for individuals, carers, as well as for parents who have young kids who suffer from diabetes, different types of digestive immune conditions, as well as underlying conditions, and helping them to make sure they can spot the vital signs and help them in time.
Wow, I can't wait. I went to my ophthalmologist actually. When did I go? Maybe 2 years ago. I need new glasses for sure. My eyesight's pretty bad, but I think it was not covered by our insurance. But you have to pay like $150. But you get to know, similar to what you're saying. And I was like, wow, the technology is really good. This was like 2 years ago, and I did it for my kids. I didn't need to do it on mine, but I should have. But recently I just got blood tested, and I have 4 issues within myself that I have to address soon. So I will address them, and then we'll go from there. Now, Babita, we are heading towards the end of our interview today in our podcast. And this is the last question that I have for you. And this is something personal and has nothing to do with technology, to really see what your heart is and believe. So this is your question. If this is your last day today on this earth, what would be your parting message to your current and future families in terms of living life, legacy, and impact?
Being human, focus on wealth creation, not just profiteering, because there's plenty to go around.
Yeah, being human is definitely something we need to define more. Sometimes I think people and humanity are complicated, right? We're complicated. Human beings are complicated, but it is what it is in terms of life.
Absolutely.
And yeah,
Wealth creation, nobody taught us how to run businesses when we are in school. Nobody ever taught us profiteering. But the reality is there's a massive difference between profiteering, wealth management, and wealth creation. And given the time of AI, if we don't do this right now, we're completely going to let down humanity. It's about, the understanding the difference between the mindset, scarcity mindset, the fixed mindsets, the growth mindset, the abundance mindset. And this is what I cover in Ego to Essence as well. The real leaders of today who will make a difference are those who are going to lead with heart, with the growth mindset, with abundance mindset, and focus more on wealth management as well as wealth creation, not just profiteering and being human.
being human. This is my closing statement to you guys based on this conversation that at the heart of a thriving system, whether in nature or technology or leadership, is diversity. Not just diversity of people, of colors, but of thought, of approaches, of experience and design. Because monocultures may grow fast, like nobody's business, but they collapse under pressure. Biodiverse systems actually endure. That's why we have resilience. They adapt, they evolve, and they leave legacies. If we want to build futures that are only not only innovative but inclusive, ethical, and resilient, we must stop copying and start cultivating. It's time to rewire our systems, honor complexity, and create environments where every voice, every variable, and every vulnerability becomes part of the solution, not the problem. So thank you guys so much for being here. I appreciate you. Babita, thank you so much for being here. Hopefully this is not your first and last, but guys, all of 7 books that I've mentioned for Babita actually is going to be available mid-July in Amazon. And I will probably put it on Level Up Academy as well for the list once Babita has it up. So you guys can check it out and really learn, right, from something that she puts her heart, her sweat, and blood and tears on it. So thank you guys so much for being here. Thank you, Babita, for being here. And welcome to Level Up Academy podcast. Bye, everybody. Have a beautiful day, night, or afternoon. See ya
Thank you.
tomorrow.
Cheers. Thank you.
I started in the silence, behind closed doors. Dreams too loud to keep tucked in the floorboards. Late nights, broke days, no applause in sight. Just coffee, hustling that fire to fight. They said, play small, but I'm built to expand. No silver spoon, just grit in my hand. I will every note, like armor and steel. Visibility's a battle, but I'm real and I heal. From invisible threads to the front of the stage, I'm rewriting the script, turning scars into page. Level up, rise above the fear. Let them hear your voice, make your purpose clear. Every step, every stumble, every tear in the rough. You were made for this moment, you are enough. Level up, break through the doubt. Turn the whispers of your past into a victory shout. You ain't just chasing clout, you're building a legacy. Now the world's gonna see what they couldn't believe. Yeah, yeah. What they couldn't believe. They don't see the back end.
win, just a headline glow. But success is built slow, where the struggle don't show. Algorithms change, but your mission's divine. You're the brand, you're the vision, you're the power behind. You gave free just to prove you have value inside. Now it's invoices paid and your name amplified. You're not just in business, you're changing the game. And your visibility, that's more than a name. No more shrinking, this is expansion. No more asking, this is commanding. You've been the spark, now you're the flame. Entrepreneur by fire, fueled by name. Level up, rise above the fear. Let them hear your voice, make your purpose clear. Every step, every stumble, every tear in the rough. You were made for this moment, you are enough. Level up, break through the doubt. Turn the whispers of your past into a victory shout. You ain't just chasing clout, you're building a legacy. Now the world's gonna see what they couldn't believe. What they couldn't believe. To the late nights, the lost friends, the risks you took. To the brand you built and the space you shook. Here's your crown, your moment, your spotlight beam. You didn't just chase the dream, you became the dream.